Welcome, ladies and gents, to another fantabulous episode of Bloody Thumbs Podcast with myself, C.H. Gorog, and my co-host extraordinaire, or host in arms.
Good old Splitter 47 here. How's everyone tonight? Or day, or morning.
Whatever time of day it is, it's always a good time for Bloody Thumbs Podcast. And what's the number of this episode?
138 there, my good man. That's the tough part of introducing this podcast. You always got to keep on top of your game. You got to remember that episode number here. I do tend to forget it myself.
God, it's just incredible. 138 episodes of just streamlined quality, right, delivered right to your lovely ears, ladies and germs. It is just... Really, you can't beat these savings, because there are no savings, because this is free. And that's how much we love you. We give this for free.
DRM free.
Damn straight. We don't associate ourselves with Microsoft, or do we? No, we don't. That is not. We are not endorsed by Microsoft. If the people from Microsoft heard this, they would send us a cease and desist. But, whatever the case may be, we're here, we're glad to be here, and we've got, a good chunk to talk about. The first being, I think kind of the biggest news is the 360, I'm sorry, the Xbox One, which, on another big scale, I'm playing Hitman Blood Money on the 360, so that's another big topic, but the other one is the Xbox One, and the whole shenanigans going on with that, and it looks like a pretty interesting turn of events, and I'm really looking forward to discussing.
Definitely. I know that they did the whole 180. All the jokes going around the internet there. The Xbox doing the 180 on there. So it's interesting that I didn't see this. I didn't expect to see this happen, but at the same time, I think it's the most logical business sense, because I do not think, since I've heard that the pre-orders aren't very high for the Xbox One, I think they had no choice but to do this. So this was something that they wanted to do. They had plans before to set this whole thing up, but since it's gonna end up costing them some pre-orders, and just I guess overall, in the long run, might affect them. So it was something that they probably didn't want to do, but they had to do in order just to stay in the same kind of competitive zone with Sony there. Because I know we've talked a little bit about the press conference last week, and thinking about it now, if it wasn't for all this DRM crap, I think 360 had a good showing there. Microsoft had a good showing at E3. That's just me. They had some interesting games to show it off there. I wish they could have shown more of Witcher 3, in my opinion. But regardless of that DRM stuff, I don't think they either or. Sony didn't really do anything too crazy other than doing nothing. That's just what it ended up being there. It's crazy to see. We're just on this particular subject in this console cycle here, because the whole DRM stuff, we know that it really doesn't. It's something that's more of an inconvenience than in anything else. It's just going to affect a lot of businesses in the long run, especially just used game markets, especially. And as much as people like to say how evil GameStop is, if you really look at the surface, they're really. They're really a good service there to get some used games for a bit cheaper here. Surely, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of the business practices. I don't partake in much of the pre-orders. They don't really do it much for me, because we live in America. We're never going to run out of stuff, so we don't need to pre-order everything. GameStop. I don't
think they're terrible. It's just like, okay, they do a couple of things which they're kind of annoying, but besides that, they're fine company. They're not gouging people, and they certainly weren't going to do what Microsoft was going to do with the Xbox One. And for ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been paying attention to E3 or big press announcements with the next generation of consoles for video games, Microsoft was coming out with the Xbox One, which would be a next-gen console, and it would require an always online requirement for at least 24 hours. You needed to sign in or else it would not work. Game discs that worked on a 360 would not work on the Xbox One, and downloaded games would not function offline. It would only function online. And and there would also be big restrictions in terms of trading games or loaning games. They had this really crazy system. Like, okay, you can loan the game to a friend, but only if they've been on your friends list for 30 days, and only after saying the incantation of Amen Sur, and then only after balancing a glass of milk on your head while singing the Star Spangled Banner. And it gets ridiculous with the list of anti-piracy stuff that they tried to keep in. And I can understand what they were trying to go for. It's like, okay, we want people to continually use our systems, but we don't want to be screwed over by pirates. But the problem is the general gaming public doesn't want to get punished for something they're not doing. That is certainly the case with the Xbox One, or the Xbone, as it certainly came out as. And also, by the way, the whole Xbox 180 joke, it's fantastic. I would love to use it more. However, IGN used it as a joke for one of their articles, so I can't touch it anymore. It's like, oh, well, that was fun while it lasted. But, yeah.
It's already run its course due to IGN. I get it. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they were also kind of going for slowly starting to fade into just kind of digital only. Like, I know they're still putting out discs for those games. Like, you only need to put it, like, install it on your system once, and then you don't need the disc anymore, which is a pretty nice feature there. But I don't know if we're still. I think it's still a bit. I think we're still too early in going all digital with the consoles. It would have been a nice, interesting experiment, but just the way they went about it in a business sense was just. Again, it's just like it's like Origin. It's like this, so it's restrictive, and there's no real really pros in getting it, because it's their own service there, so they run it how they like. So there's no difference in getting it digitally than on disc, because they both cost the same. So they don't even entice you with any type of sales like Steam does. There's always sales on Steam, and just other websites like that. It's just no benefit in going all digital with Origin.
Yeah, I mean, that is the way to get people to sign up for your business model, where Steam is a service where it requires you to log in to download crazy sales, and people are more than willing to go on to Steam and to sign up and to ensure that they get all their games through there, or good old games, because they have great sales. It's not a lot of fuss. It's not a lot of jumping through hoops. It's not like a 16-number input code that you have to do for an online pass. EA, and it's was EA, but but it was just the Xbox One was just so confusing. It's like, okay, wow, did you guys learn nothing about what people hated this generation? And then fortunately. It's the ramifications of this next thing which I'm really interested in, which is that they decide, okay, we're going to go back on our original promise. You don't need to be online anymore. It's not a log. The console won't. You can access it whenever you want. You don't have to log in every 24 hours. The game discs of 360 will work on the Xbox One, and you can play downloaded games offline. And there's no region locks as well, so that's great. And at least in terms of kind of where I'm coming from, it's like, okay, it's going to be not the original Xbox One was not consumer friendly, and then with this one, okay, they're definitely stepping in the right direction and listening. And this is the thing, that they're listening to consumer complaints, and it was not a minority; it was a very large group of people saying, "What the hell is this?" To the point where it's like, even on Jimmy Fallon. They actually, that's when they announced, the Xbox One will, he's a big video game guy, and they said like, okay, the Xbox One won't require all these things, and people in the audience cheered, and it's like, okay, this is not only not it's not just for people who are interested in video games. This is because of the last generation. Video games are now in the public's mind eye. No, that's not the right one. It's now in the public's attention.
Right.
That video games are a thing, and so now they follow this, and it's pretty evident that it's not just the niche market who are the vocal minority. It's a pretty large amount, good amount of people, and I give some respect to Microsoft for changing it up to please people. And then there's this weird backlash that I've been looking through, where it's like, oh, so Xbox doesn't stick to its guns. Are you kidding me? Do you want that original one? It's like, no, but I'd rather have that than someone who goes against their words. Like, oh my god, you got to be kidding me. It's where of course, it's like the Marvel DC thing, where it's like the dick measuring between the Microsoft and Sony, and then you have like Nintendo just playing with its toys and like just staying out of the entire thing. Where the Sony fanboys, I've noticed that the Sony fanboys are a lot louder. But like the Xbox fanboys are much more offensive, so I don't know how that balances out. But it usually ends up with like Sony going, "Oh, the Sony fanboys," just with this in this case where they just said, "Oh, looks like Microsoft doesn't stick to its guns. That's why I'm glad I didn't buy one." Like, you're not going to comment at all how they changed it to a better console, and it's infuriating. And I'm noticing all these other outlets aren't even talking about the fact that Microsoft was willing to change for public opinion even before the product launched, and it's just incredible to me.
Yeah, just crazy. I was going to bring that up there. The whole kind of backlash on it. It's crazy how we gotten this far. Just people like restrictions, I guess. I don't know, but it's crazy because I didn't expect. I didn't expect them to change their mind because Microsoft's always been pretty adamant. They have this sort of attitude that they don't really care too much of what the consumers think. Just much to like the chagrin of like Windows 8. They're sticking very very hard on Windows 8, trying to get that out there very much. It's slowly growing on me, but not a huge fan of it. But it's certainly the standard now. It's on mostly every new PC you buy. So. And they're certainly integrating that with tablets and definitely the design of the 360 now on the dashboard and what's to come for the Xbox One there. But just it's nuts, man. That whole thing.
Saying.
But anyways, it's I guess regardless, I'm still not too. I'm still not really leaning to the Xbox really that much. They're just for its price. That's just what's getting me at the moment. I think it's a bit too much.
$1,000.
$1,000. I know we were talking about yesterday about how. It is quite a lot, but at least they're not charging like $1,000 like for like those Apple Macs do.
As somebody who is a first-time victim of them, yep. They are certainly they dig deep into the pockets. And you know what really makes me interested is like, okay, Sony and Microsoft, like half of their stuff is dealing with DRM issues and piracy issues, and then you just have Nintendo, and I don't even think they know what piracy is or DRM. I think it's like, oh, DRM. Is that a new microchip that you put inside of the games? Like, no, it's something that crazy people decide to inflict upon people who are doing nothing but giving them money for their games and demanding nothing in return except that game. So they decide to put stuff in there that punishes them for buying the game. And
yeah, with Nintendo, there's definitely with their games, there's definitely a lot of. I think there's a lot of sharing going on with like Nintendo games. They're very. They definitely have their market there for kind of very fun and fantastical type of games. Like I don't think if they were implementing that stuff during the 80s, which I don't know how they'd pull it off, but Super Mario wouldn't be as big as it is today, because I'm sure that there is definitely a lot of I'm sure everyone has their stories on there how they were introduced to Mario, or just Mario Kart, or Mario 64. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of sharing going on around that time. Just exchanging and spreading the word on those type of games. That, I mean, if they were to do that now, I can't see it being a very easy way to do so. Just it comes off as going to be very like a very long ass process to do so. Just to have someone play a certain game that you own. It's just a weird place we've gone into in gaming right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't understand. This seems like a much bigger reaction than what needs to be done. I think they need to this is just a kind of a totalitarian sort of look at things in terms of the security and piracy of games, and I think there's a much more elegant and simple solution out there. Although for the life of me, I can't really think of a system that Microsoft or Sony could employ that would make it easy for them to kind of identify people who are using pirated games. Maybe, I don't know, maybe scanning something at the GameStop or Best Buy, or just when they download a game, it has like a mark of quality to it that like I don't know. It's just too bad that piracy is such a hot button issue right now, and it is a problem. But I just I don't know. But as you were saying, when we were starting the episode, where it's I do think Microsoft had a better presentation of games, where they had like a bunch of all obviously multi-platform stuff, but it was but that was completely eclipsed by just the Xbox One, and that it doesn't matter if you got like a game that somehow combined the best qualities of Super Mario Sunshine, Halo, Need for Speed, Total War. It's like, that could have been the best game of all time. It still doesn't change the fact that it's on the Xbox One. And I feel like a lot of this hatred is going to be very intense for a little while, and then it's going to go away. But like it did with Sony getting hacked by the PlayStation Network getting hacked, or EA's general tomfoolery with SimCity, or Gearbox with Duke Nukem Forever and Aliens Colonial Marines, where there's definitely something amiss, they did wrong, and then they just stayed quiet about it for long enough, and then people just didn't keep looking.
Yeah, I feel like if you're just kind of honest about it, just saying how it's certainly, we took into account the feedback here, which we're just gonna change things just to make sure we get the the best outcome possible to benefit us. But that's just the thing. Not a lot of people are honest, or companies are really honest about that stuff, and not really wanted to admit anything, or just be honest at all, because I guess they see it as them failing if they be honest, or in some way open the doors even more to criticism. But it's already kind of been open, so that at least you could do is just kind of soften the wounds there. But it's crazy. It's also, we live in a society where, I mean, if you're even honest, people still get upset over you anyway. So it's hard to counteract that there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but whatever the case may be, it's
on another note, I did see that Halo 4, was it the Halo 4? I'm thinking of the next Halo game there. I was just thinking about how funny that was, just seeing Master Chief wearing that, what was he wearing, like a
poncho or something in the middle of it.
Yeah, poncho. He has a suit of armor on. I don't know if he got some cracks in there. I guess he doesn't want to get any flakes on his armor there. I don't know. That was a bit odd to see.
It might not be airtight, so just just getting all that sand in the place. Like you remember going to the beach and hopping into the ocean, and then like you come out and it feels like your pockets are full of coins when you turn it out, and you just get about 2 dump trucks full of sand. So just imagine what it's going to be like when he finally takes off the helmet.
Yeah, seeing Master Chief in a poncho-like outfit is as weird as seeing Bayonetta covered up like in a fur coat. That's just weird.
Bayonetta wearing respectable clothing? Surely you jest, good sir.
Crazy. We live in a bizarre world.
Mm-hmm. And, also looking forward to... I actually think the winner of this year's E3 was probably Nintendo. Because they're the ones who... Like, Sony didn't really do anything. They just, were just we're not Microsoft. And then, that should have been their slogan, where it's like, this isn't the Xbox One. And then it's they basically did that with the announcements that they're going, all the cool little jabs and poking fun at Microsoft for all their incompetently hard Xbox One decisions. But I think Nintendo actually did the most in terms of just adding their collection, because they had a really lousy launch with the games that came out, and then then they said, okay, we'll need to knuckle down and get some Mario games out there. There's a Zelda remake coming out there of Wind Waker, which Wind Waker was a good game. I don't really know if I want to buy it again, but it's like, oh, okay, that's nice. And I haven't bought a Wii U yet, but this is certainly sweetening the pot with Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which sounds like a drink flavor that you'd get at one of the nightclubs. Like, I'll get a Donkey Kong Country Tropical Breeze, thank you. That's some good alcohol, and having fun there. But they seem to be and Bayonetta too.
They got Yoshi's Island on the 3DS, so at least they're supporting the 3DS there a little bit. With that, I saw a little bit of it, but no, I mean it's hard to look at it in a different light other than the original SNES version. It's just a lot about that game was just so fantastically done. It's just everything works about it. You're always learning something new in each level and world there. So they always throw in something different to add on what you've already kind of learned through playing it. But yeah, I mean I guess you would say, I mean, Nintendo did I didn't see their little the video conference they had. What was it that they had online? But I did see the list of games that they announced for it, and I don't know. I mean, Nintendo is Nintendo at this point. They're there to pump out the classics either by sequels or remakes that people love. So I can't discourage them for that. But I know that they're expanding their studios, or opening up new studios to to work on newer games or IP. So it seems we'll see what they come up with there, and keep supporting the Wii U there, and not just kind of let it sit there like the PS Vita for Sony.
Yeah, they're working on them new IPs, new IPs, and they also have a new Pikmin game. I love Pikmin. The Wonderful 101, which is Team Grass. I think it's a Suda 51 game, but it's either Team Grasshopper or Platinum. Either way, that sounds like a good time to me. But looking at over all these games, this has been the E3 I've been least excited for. Where nothing seems to be coming out that it's pretty much now E3 is kind of pointless, because now we have the internet. Now we can figure out, okay, the new game's going to be coming around the corner, and they're already leaked like several days, if not weeks before, of which games are going to show up. And it's this game, this one only seemed to hammer that one home, where it's basically just like, oh, okay, here's the cycle of games that we're having for the next generation that you can't really play now on your own consoles, and the games that we do have coming out for these consoles are they're looking good. I'm looking forward to MGS5 and Splinter Cell Blacklist and all the other cool games that they have out there, but it feels kind of hollow, just because it feels like, okay, we're just trudging these out just to get them out of the way, just so we can get the PS4 and the Xbox One underway. And once again, I gotta voice my concern of, okay, this is a little too soon, a little bit too quickly, and I don't think we've hammered out the issues of this generation at all. Microsoft made them worse, much, much worse, with the Xbox One originally, and they made it better, or they made it normal. But now there's still some problems.
Yeah, definitely. With the games they showed off at the press conference, that they don't seem too very far off with what we kind of get now. With shooters and things like that. Sure, they look nice, but there's always I'm always looking for something a bit more different and more innovative. I always, even though I never played any of the games, but at least with Naughty Dog, they always push the envelope with the current hardware they have, and they always make the best of the games that they're making for the system that they're on. So, I mean, when you've seen it with like Uncharted 3 and The Last of Us, there's still a lot you can do with the current generation of platforms and to make great games there. So I'm always just seeing. I'm always interested in seeing. I mean, what more interesting things they can do with the hardware in terms of what you can put out in games. Like, I'm always just fascinated on how cool would it be to see just like a lot of people on screen at once. I mean, there's something like that it can be implemented in terms of gameplay would be very interesting. Like the only thing I can really think of that's sort of pushed the envelope on that was like Hitman Absolution. Like just seeing the crowd environment and the crowd AI at work there is just very fantastic. I always thought that was really an interesting way to push the hardware, to make an interesting scene. And I know that's the kind of one of the many few moments you get a lot of people on the same screen in the game without it really completely lagging. So it worked out for the best there. Something like that I'd like to see more of, rather than just kind of the same old stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Killzone, Modern Warfare, another Call of Duty game, or as much as I love Halo, I would like to see some variety as well. Something new, something fresh, something that isn't a first-person shooter or with a brown and gray color palette, and just let. I feel this kind of way also about superhero films, where a lot of them are or even just a lot of films that, these days, where it's like, okay, they're trying to be so dark and not even try to acknowledge the fact that there are comic books, where it's like, oh, okay, these are fun adventures occasionally, and that's kind of how I feel about Man of Steel, which I know I got a text message from you that said you saw it, but would you like to discuss that as well?
Sure, I did see Man of Steel last night. I did quite enjoy it. I'm seeing a little bit of. I haven't really looked deep into it and see what people's issues are, but apparently people have some issues with the film. But I saw it as just very minor things. People really like to be picky on certain things, which is, I mean, sometimes not too bad. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say that it was the best movie ever. It was entertaining.
It was a solid movie.
It was a solid movie. I know it probably has, if you really digest it and analyze it, sure, it probably has some issues. But I mean, what film doesn't?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think I liked Man of Steel, but there's this part of me that thinks to myself, okay, there's a lot of discussion like, oh wait, this wasn't realistic. This broke the realistic tone of the film, and I keep saying to myself, why are you concerned about that? This is a man from an alien planet who flies around in a red cape and blue spandex with a giant S on his chest, saving the world with heat vision. I definitely feel like, okay, realism is kind of a minor thing in this type of movie, but I did like Man of Steel, the story of Clark Kent and the character development that he had, especially the ending. I was really surprised with how they treated the big climactic thing. I won't say too much, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how much you want to get into it. I don't know, unless you want to do that whole thing we did last time with Iron Man and with some other movie we did, Star Trek, where it was a good half-hour discussion on spoilers that probably people who haven't seen it either listened to it or skipped it. So don't know how much you want to get into that, but I did enjoy it. It was really visually it looked great. It's definitely you could tell that it's like Zack Snyder has a certain look about his films that has that interesting color filter that you see. It was similar to like kind of like Watchmen, but it was a bit more brighter than Watchmen. But yeah, you could but you could tell it probably uses the same like cinematographer, so you could they have their kind of stamp there. You can sort of tell what the who was it directed by. But no, I liked it. The way that they told his whole character art there was it was an interesting way to do it, and it was really quick. It was a lot of either there would be one scene that sparked like a flashback that would give more character development in that way. And, some people didn't like the flashbacks, which I don't know why, but they were quicker ways to to tell the story and get to the whole part of the movie, which was like the big epic clash between the few Kryptonians that came to Earth to fight Superman, which is one of the best Superman fight scenes out that's been put out there in film. So it's pretty awesome there.
It's I definitely liked. I think like Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner as the respective fathers of Jor-El and I can't remember what his Clark's father's name is in the film, but I'm just gonna call him Pa Kent because that's how I remember him. Damn it.
That's what I remember.
And they were great in it. I liked Lawrence Fishburne as the big Perry White CEO of the what was his job? General manager of Daily Planet.
Oh, it was something like that. I don't know what the official title was, but he was running the
news editor.
Yeah, like the editor in chief, I guess, of the Daily Planet.
I just like the fact that he's like, okay, all this professional business, and then he has that one diamond stud in his ear. It's like, okay, you're not in college anymore, man. Just, I don't know why you're doing that. Like, you might as well just like brought in like the Morpheus glasses and the trench coat while he was doing that, just so he could like try to look a little bit hipper.
This is business casual. It must have been a Friday.
or dressed up as Cowboy Curtis and just I like to see the director's cut where you're just like wearing the Cowboy Curtis outfit for the entire film and nobody comments on it.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Yeah, it really would have gave the movie much more praise than criticism there, I'd say. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and it was better than I had expected to be. And Michael Shannon was great in it as General Zod. I always thought he's a good actor there.
Yeah, I've noticed his eyes become unfocused when he's like really yelling at something. Where like most actors, when they're getting angry, they'll look more intensely at something. But with Michael Shannon, it looks like he's when he's yelling at somebody, it looks like he's distracted in his peripheral vision with something else. Like I will destroy you, you evil. Ooh, look, a candy bar over there. I'll go pick that up.
I did notice that a little bit.
And I was gonna say I like the action scenes a lot. You definitely got a lot more of the force of like how strong Superman is and the Kryptonians.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm sorry.
Oh hell yeah! It was impactful. The bumps he took.
And a lot of them are really intense because there's this one scene where one of the Kryptonians is up against a military guy, and I'm surprised they could get away with a PG-13 rating with what they did. And it's just, oh gosh, that poor soul, because they basically turn him into tomato soup, and it's just, it was, I mean, that was brutal. I did like the casting for everyone except for Amy Adams. I think she was a bit miscast. Because like for Lois Lane, you need to have a woman who's assertive, who's kind of a bitch, but she gets stuff done, and she can always get the deadline and get the scoop, and always comes out on number one. And then this one it felt a little bit misplaced, especially when the first introductory scene where a colonel or something is going up to her and goes, oh, we didn't expect you until tomorrow, and she basically chews him out for the the entire scene, and he's like, I was just saying hello. I don't know why you're angry with me.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I did notice. Yeah, she did good with what she worked with, but yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't follow much of Superman, so I don't know exactly what would make a good or bad Lois Lane, but for the role she was in, the parts that she was in, I thought she did a good enough job. So she's a respectable enough actress to woo me over with that. No, yeah, good casting all around. I enjoyed the movie quite very much. So I know that there's also the whole criticism about they have the whole fight scene. I think over at Metropolis, so it's a lot of destruction going on. So it's like, why didn't that Superman go fight on Mars or something just to avoid damage here? But sure, sure you can make a point for that. That I'm sure a lot of people died during that because it's a whole building's getting taken down during that fight scene. But you can say the same about the Avengers. You know how much of a mess that they made there. I just think about it while I was watching it. Just damn, that city's fucked up. I don't know how long it's going to take to fix everything. It's going to be so much traffic going on there.
I mean, the whole level of destruction in Metropolis, I can understand it for a good majority of the movie, where it's okay, it's not Superman who's doing this, it's the Kryptonians, especially when they start the whole thing. I'm not going to say what, but it's not Superman's trying to stop them in the middle of it and save them, and so his focus is kind of on one thing. But it just made me kind of laugh at the end, where I'm just kind of picturing Superman standing on top of a building going like, I did it, I saved the city, and then he just cut back and it's like the smoldering remains of Metropolis, and Lois Lane just going, are you sure about that? Look what you did over there. He's like, well, my work here is done. Like, oh no, you don't. You get a dustpan, you get a broom, you clean this up. We cannot do this by ourselves.
Yeah, well, he did save the planet, but he didn't quite say he was going to save Metropolis, or the buildings. So you gotta take that for what you can.
Listen to me, Lois. I can leap tall buildings in a single bound. I cannot clean them up. Go get another superhero. I think Aquaman isn't doing anything right now.
Poor Aquaman.
Even when it's not his movie, we still make fun of him.
Definitely. But yeah, those are I don't know. Those are minor things. Sure, I mean, if you look at it at a grand scale, I'm sure there was a lot of destruction going on, and probably people probably dead there. It probably would have been a little bit probably add a little more depth if they probably took a little moment to focus on the destruction there. But hey, what are you gonna do?
I tell you who's really in pain after all the destruction. The health insurance companies who have to work at file all those claims, and I'm pretty sure most of them will go out of business just getting all the checks in order.
Oh my god, that would make a good spin-off movie.
Just like Bert, the guy who has to be the HR representative for the Man of Steel.
It's crazy. No, it was good. It was interesting because it felt more like a science fiction movie than a superhero movie.
Now, did you also see the Easter eggs that they had in there?
What sort of Easter eggs are we talking?
There was one for maybe Lex Luthor.
I don't recall, but the way that they ended it was certainly a good setup for a sequel. I feel like that they could definitely, I guess probably would be a good time to bring in Lex Luthor for the sequel, but I mean, I know we've already gotten our fill of Lex Luthor in the past films, but if they were to bring him in, it would be interesting. It would be interesting to bring him in and just kind of make Superman sort of a anti-hero or villain in a way, because just it talks about how the whole destruction that happened with the fight scene in the first movie and just all the damage he caused and probably people he killed. So it would be an interesting dynamic there to for him to bring that up, and I guess that way he probably becomes president that way. I think that's the storyline from what I recall. I guess in the animated series, I don't read the comics, so I don't know. I'm
also looking forward to just like in like this movie is like all about like action and like giant explosions, and then the next Man of Steel movie is just like a courtroom drama of like all the pain and injury that Superman has caused, and like it's like an Aaron Sorkin like style of like of courtroom drama. It's just like Superman, we have the next we have about 2,000 character witnesses saying that you've destroyed this building. It's like I don't quite remember the events of that day as it transpired, but I'm fairly certain that was more Zod than me.
As we remember that, I think so. I think that was the case.
And you know, if DC, I want this film to do well, not because I'm an overly huge fan of it. I think it's a solid film. It's not one of my favorites, but I'll give credit where credit is due. It made Superman an interesting character again. I like the fact that you see him suffering a lot in terms of having control, and that's the big issue for him. It's not because Batman or Spider-Man or Wolverine, like out of all the superheroes, he's kind of the least likely to relate to because of just he's basically a god. But like trying to find his humanity and figuring out where he belongs and just learning to kind of keep his more persuasive demons under wraps, like that's interesting. And then I'd love to see more from DC. Like I would like to see a movie that wasn't either Superman or Batman do well, because if they want to launch like more movies based off of this kind of universe instead of the Green Lantern movie, that's how you do it wrong, and this is how you do it right. I'm all for it.
Yeah, same here. I like to see more other characters get their own films there, and see if they can set up some sort of thing. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but some sort of Justice League movie. I always was a pretty big fan of the Justice League animated series, so I thought it'd be really cool to see that see them try to do that in film, but who knows? There
was like one episode of the Justice League I remember. I think it was Unlimited, where I think Wonder Woman gets turned into a pig, and they have to find her, and so they get like all the not even the B rank superheroes, they get like the C rank superheroes, where it's like, my superpower is I make Belgian waffles really well, and then he's like going door to door trying to figure out like where she is. It's like, I love that. I would love that if that was the basis of the Justice League movie.
I definitely love it. I love it.
It's the movie you've been waiting for. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and all your favorites are not in this movie. Instead, we're doing this other story.
Some of the other trailers they showed before Man of Steel looked pretty interesting. Elysium, I'm looking more forward to that, and I see more clips of it. I think it's got some potential there. I like the whole look of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely some Mass Effect vibes there. With the upper higher society, higher class society. Looks like kind of looks like the Citadel up there.
Mm-hmm. It definitely had kind of the cinematography, as you were saying. I'm not sure if it was Larry Fong who did the cinematography, because he was with Snyder on Watchmen, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was also him. But he did a lot of shots which kind of reminded me of Terrence Malick films, where just kind of focusing on small objects and then just framing them beautifully, and just having a really short depth of field, and looking at like all this really beautiful kind of serene Americana sort of imagery. And if they wanted to continue that sort of look, which would be very expensive, but hey, it definitely shows on film, where they wanted to continue that sort of look for the DC cinematic universe, please go ahead, because damn, it looks good.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of movies and also video games, Ken Levine, who is most well noted for being the creative head for BioShock and BioShock Infinite, has been penned to script the Logan's Run remake for Warner Brothers, and it's been in development hell for God knows how long. There was Bryan Singer and Drive director Nicholas Winding Refn. were both attached, and then they dropped out, and it's like, wow, it's that's a really big thing where it's okay, now they're picking up a guy from from the video game, a well-respected, huge kind of video game icon right now, and they're getting him to pen Logan's Run, and I am just fascinated to see what he'll come up with, just because he looks like a guy who's never really, like, unless it's exactly how he kind of wants it to be conveyed, he doesn't want to put it out there. Like, he always like for Bioshock Infinite, everything in that game and Bioshock just had a purpose to it in terms of the story, the narrative, the overall thematic motifs, and same thing with his other previous incarnations. Even though, to be honest, like, if you see a lot of the early footage and interviews for his game, like, some of the enemies were not planned to go the way they were, but like, hey, it turned out to be really, really good, and I'm just really excited to see what he does for Logan's Run.
Yeah, fascinated to see what he would do with that. Yeah, like you said, he's definitely one of those guys who he puts out something that is he believes it's a quality product there, and doesn't really half-ass it. So he's if there's something as minuscule as the hair isn't right, he'll probably just delay it and just work on it for a couple more weeks.
I mean, there's stuff that I was doing when replaying Bioshock Infinite, like, oh wow, that character said some like hilarious line of dialogue, and I didn't see it for the first 3 times when I was playing it, but now I see it, and wow, this is just the amount of work that Levine and his team completely used, just to really bring forth the world, is just outstanding. And I'm really looking forward to how if this movie does get made, I'm interested to see how it turns out. Just because there have been some hit or miss remakes of kind of classic 70s and 80s films, like the most recent Total Recall, which had none of the kind of fun Schwarzenegger-isms or just like craziness that the original had. And this one, and the newer one, was kind of sedate, a little bit more, try to be serious, and and that's kind of like, I'm not sure. But with Levine, I have a lot of faith in him, just because he seems like a guy who doesn't forget to have fun with the material as well as make a dramatic story.
Yeah, I hear you. I wasn't quite feeling the new Total Recall there. It made me want to watch the original, actually, when I was watching it. Just thinking about those classic scenes there from the original there, with from Screw You, Benny, Screw You, Benny. See you at the party, Richter. Michael Ironside's arms getting ripped out of their sockets.
Yeah, and now they're doing RoboCop. It's I don't know, like, can you really think of a movie that needs that kind of change?
No, I can't. I mean, I really like the original RoboCop for what it was. It's definitely a product of its time, and I think it still holds up really well. The whole Paul Verhoeven goodness of disembodied limbs was just a fantastic death scene.
Talk about turning people into tomato soup. You actually, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they just like filled like a bunch of plastic balloons with tomato soup, and then just like painted them over with human color paint, and then just like put them in clothing to run them over, to blow them up. And it's like RoboCop, and then they made Dredd, the new Judge Dredd film, which was it was actually really good. I was really surprised about that, but the only one I can really
glad you liked it. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I said it. I think when I talked about it when I saw it the opening weekend. I thought it was a really good action movie. It doesn't do anything too amazing, but it doesn't do anything terrible. I think it's really well paced action movie.
Damn, yeah. I mean, and sometimes all action movies don't need to break the ceiling and shoot for the moon like Avengers or Die Hard, where they're the automatic big shots of the action movie genre. Sometimes you wanted just a really well made exciting action film.
Yeah, and it was a simple story too.
I'm sorry.
It was a simple story. It didn't need to be it didn't need to be complex to be a good movie. It was it was simple. It was a kind of small scale. It didn't go the route like the original like Judge Dredd, where it was just a big scale at work there with the whole story. But it was just in one particular location. That's all it was. Just to get one person.
Heck yeah! I mean, it was. Yeah, have you seen The Raid?
The Raid? I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen the film there.
It's structurally very similar to Dredd in terms of just kind of it taking place kind of in one building, and the main characters kind of having to navigate and figure out what they're going to do when they're kind of trapped. And it works well as well. So I would recommend that, and it's also pretty violent and pretty action-packed, so it's awesome, like Dredd. So
right
give that a chance.
Right up my alley there. Yeah, definitely. The scenes with the other judges were really good too.
The dark judges.
The dark judges.
They're bad. It's like Carl Urban is like the judge. He's like this guy who scowls the entire time with like these like visors. Like, now the dark judges. Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Benny, you must get me away from here. I don't know what Schwarzenegger's doing there, but it's just in my mind. It's like plopped it in there.
Yeah, just the little things like that with Arnold, like Arnold's delivery and just him being what was he, like a construction worker?
Yes,
he was like an average Joe.
Listen. I don't think you're a construction worker. I think you're a part-time tank. You're not. I don't think you're a human being, because a human being is not composed like you are.
It was that, and just I don't know. Arnold always he put when he in his older films he always put over the material. He always I couldn't see anyone else playing those roles other than him. He makes it work. He just whether intentionally or unintentionally, he's always good in those types of roles.
Nice to meet you. Chew.
Oh.
And it's one of the best comedies. If you see the movie as a comedy of Batman and Robin, if you just watch it as a comedy, it is fantastic. But don't watch it as anything else, unless you're stoned. But I don't recommend marijuana. Although I might. Who knows?
Yeah. We're not ones to condone anything on other people there, but if that's what floats your boat, and we'll go with it.
110%. We don't advocate anything that's wrong for children out there. Now, if you excuse me, let me take a nice cold sip of refreshing Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. That is beer-tastic.
The cheapest beer you can get.
Mm-hmm. Actually thinking about it, the one movie I'd like to see them do serious is Starship Troopers, where it's like Paul Verhoeven. I love that version, but it's Neil Patrick Harris is a psychic soldier. Clancy Brown is like the gruff sergeant. Michael Ironside as the like commander with who was actually the gym teacher. Oh, it is so good. But it wasn't the book. It wasn't serious, and the book was serious, and the movie wasn't. And I'd like to see them try to do like kind of a more serious action story that's actually kind of about a man on committing warfare.
It would be cool to see them take a different approach to an original film and a remake. It'd be certainly an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, it's. I actually feel that way about kind of not being true to the source material, but being an okay film by itself is World War Z.
World War Z. I haven't seen the World War Z yet, but I did quite enjoy the book there. So that's why I was a bit disappointed to seeing what they pumped out there and putting the World War Z name on it.
It's an okay film. It's it's a PG-13. I mean, because of the fact that they had to shoot, they wanted this movie to be like a massive worldwide pandemic. They needed a big budget, and because of that, they needed to tone it down to PG-13, make the story a lot simpler and less dark, and a lot of things they do, they really cut out the heart of that book, where, no pun intended, where the book is all about how humanity surviving and kind of the really dark things that people do in order to survive, and that's half of it, and the other half is the book talking about, like, okay, our societies and cultures are incompetent and incapable of handling a huge problem like this, and the governments and militaries that do completely mess it up. And one of the biggest things in the book is the Battle of Yonkers, which is basically like the military not having a damn clue what to do, and we're told, like, okay, you need to win this battle to boost morale, and they just completely mess up. And that's nowhere in here. In fact, it's if anything, it's appreciative and glorifying the military, especially the U.S. military, where it's like, yeah, we're number one, we're right on top. Don't worry, we'll save everybody. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. That is far from what the book was. And it's like, I know it's like, oh, why do you have to always say, like, oh, it wasn't in the book? It wasn't in the book, but it wasn't even the source material. It wasn't even close to it. Like, I don't even care if you change everything. I don't care that the zombies run. Just keep the spirit and the themes alive, and just do whatever. It's like going into a movie expecting War of the Worlds adaptation. What you get is like that really Battle Los Angeles, with no heart or substance.
Yeah, that's a shame there, but
I mean, like, there are some really scary scenes for a PG-13 film that, it's like, okay, it's a lot of, like, tense stuff, and the lighting is good. I like the lighting. Brad Pitt's fine as the character. He doesn't have Gary, I think his name is, and he doesn't have a lot of character development, but I like his character as he was trying to survive, and because he's the main character, he's going to at least survive until the very end of the film. Whereas, the people around him, I was more interested in them, just because, like, some people that you don't expect to die do die, and some of those that you expect to live they actually don't live, and vice versa, where it's like, oh, okay, you don't know who's going to survive this whole ordeal. And that's interesting. But overall, I would say, like, okay, it's an alright film, but it's certainly not the best zombie movie out there. It's certainly not the best book adaptation, and it just kind of a disappointing adaptation of a book that I love, and I don't even like zombie stories.
It's just like a kind of more accessible kind of version of I guess source material, and slightly taking its going
Robert
about
Pattinson is the main character, and instead of zombies biting you, they just give you a nice kiss on the cheek, and like, oh, we gotta kiss everyone, and then he's like, I gotta stop this from spreading.
That sounds like something I'd probably watch, and just have Brad Pitt be the character from Snatch. And just have subtitles throughout the whole movie.
That might have been a more faithful adaptation than what actually turned out on screen.
My ass is in the seat. I'll definitely watch that.
You like dags? Good, we'll use them for bait. Come here, eat the dog, leave me alone. They're attracted to periwinkle blue.
What's that going in your trousers?
Why'd they call him the Zombie Dodger? Because he dodges zombies. Yeah, but I do hope that one day. I mean, like, for instance, the Steven Spielberg movie War of the Worlds. I thought, it was kind of a mixed bag of a film, but I thought it was still very true to the source material, even though it was not the same characters, not the same time, not really the same events, but it's just sort of this. It's true to the spirit of what it was, of this kind of terrifying invasion where like the military, they're pretty like unlike the military in World War Z, they just get their asses handed to them like wholeheartedly, and like they don't even really win in the end. It's like, oh, okay, I guess it's just I guess it's just this thing that really stopped them. But it's I'd like to see this get adapted again sometime further down the line where we get somebody who understands the source material, and I don't even think it can be a real good movie. I was thinking like maybe it could be like an HBO miniseries, Yeah,
certainly with a very dense story like World War Z, it definitely make for a better type of miniseries where it's spread out with between episodes, and they follow each kind of different individual characters there and tell their side of the whole story, and just have that kind of unravel and kind of get the full scope of what transpired there in the book. That would have been a bit more interesting that way, and just have it approach it in a kind of District 9 type of thing where they shoot it like a documentary, and then they'll do it, and then they'll have cinematic scenes that are shot like that, like a film.
You talking about District 9? That makes me want to watch District 9 again. That was like a damn good film. It's like part horror because of how violent it gets and gory, but it's also this introspective look at humanity. And I was kind of wishing like, oh, maybe Neil Blomkamp should have directed this movie and just gotten the right amount of charm and wit to it.
It would have been an interesting approach that way. I definitely probably would have had more likelihood to see it. But I'll tell you, I'll probably definitely check it out further down the line, see what it's about. It looks.
It's fine.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be fine, but not quite. Doesn't quite grab the whole kind of spirit and soul of the original source material. Which as long as they get that right, I'm fine for what it is. But if kind of missing that. You're just kind of better off.
It's
calling it something else than World War Z.
I do wish, I wish it was. It's kind of like the iRobot film, where it's. I really enjoyed the iRobot Will Smith film, but it was not the book. It's like, okay, it's dealing with like some concepts, kinda. But it's not really the book at all, and it is one of those cases where it's like, okay, if you're too obsessed with the fact that it's not a good adaptation of the book and it's not really, then you're not going to like it. But if you just try to sit back and try to enjoy it and just think of it as another titled film, then it's fine.
Yeah, that's the only way you have to really look at it. If in order just to get through the film, you're not going to spend it wouldn't be worse just spending the whole time getting mad because they didn't do this. They're not following the certain path or themes of the book. So, you'll always have the book. So, at least they can't take that away from you.
Well, especially if you sneak in. So it's not a problem there.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's but also speaking of zombies, I have also taken to just because I've heard so much about it. State of Decay, which is the new Xbox Live Arcade zombie game. It's an open world sandbox sort of zombie game where where you're a group of this where you actually start up where you're in the middle, you're camping with a friend, and you suddenly get attacked by zombies, and so you start gathering a group around, and you start to fortify your defenses, and you can switch between these different characters, and it's all about you surviving in this kind of small town, kind of like Indiana or Ohio, where it's kind of like farmland, and you got to like do resource managing and getting the trust of people around you, and there's all these really cool missions, and it is a surprisingly well-written game where it's not shoving exposition down your throat, but there are just like you'll be driving with one of the guys, and he'll just happen to mention. Like, oh, I used to, be married around here until my wife, she didn't want any more of me, so she took my kid into the city, and I just hope it's better there than it is here. It's like, wow, this is really good writing in a really small amount of time, and the gameplay is a bit jittery, and it doesn't look like one of the better games this generation. Especially with some really, really ugly looking character models, but it is a surprisingly addictive game. And this is coming from a guy who's tired of zombies in general, but also especially zombies in video games.
Yeah,
where they get the right amount of just character, heart, and they don't go too over the top with the darkness. They keep it back. It's like, okay, these zombies are a threat, but there's more to the world than this. And if you liked Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare, I'd certainly give it a shot, Splinter.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting that for a little bit there. So hearing your thumbs up of approval is certainly is a final nail in the coffin on that. So I'll definitely be checking that out pretty soon. I know that Anthony from the Better Gaming Bureau has been doing a couple of videos on and on for his YouTube channel, so that it looks like a fun open world game. It's kind of a shame. I know I'm mostly not a big fan of adding co-op in there, but I think that would be an interesting. It would be interesting if they added co-op in there. That'd be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, if they had some co-op in there, that would be just a really fun time. I don't think they have the resources of Rockstar when they wanted to do Grand Theft Auto 4 or Red Dead Redemption, where you can go around and go throughout the giant map and meet up with people. That would be awesome, though, if they did come out with a co-op sort of adventure and maybe customize your own survivor and work with other people for materials and whatnot. That would be great.
Yeah, definitely with the zombie apocalypse, that certainly opens up some room for where co-op can work for that. Optional co-op, of course, but that would be something that could spice some things up there. But I see that it's a kind of it looks like it might be a budgeted title there. So I guess for what they could do, it looks like they did a pretty they worked pretty hard on it for what they could for what the resources they had there.
I'm sorry?
It looks like they did a pretty good job for what the resources they had there.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely just a kind of grand old time for that. And then and I would love to do a double review of that, or just for the next episode, I'd love to sit on that, or we can just hash something out where we can have a Blood Money review, and then do a separate one for a State of Decay when you get the time to play.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Blood Money, especially, would be a topic of discussion I look forward to partaking in.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting beast, because it's kind of like a Deadly Premonition in a way, where it's you can tell a lot of these parts are kind of copied and pasted, and not always with the same quality of kind of superior playing games, but it's the right combination to make it just really enjoyable, and just the characters and story, it's enthralling when it shouldn't be. But the people behind it just put so much love and charm into it that it really is good.
Oh, very cool to hear. So, how are you? I know you brought it up a little bit. How are you enjoying Blood Money there?
Oh man, when you shipped off this game and you said it was one of your favorite games of all time, you were underselling it. This is a damn good game, my friend. This is I'm not gonna lie. Being the kind of crazy gun-toting maniac that I am, I get so confused about where people are and kind of what the structure of things are. I usually go in guns blazing, and then try to survive that, and then afterwards, okay, now I know where everybody is. Now I can do the sneaky stuff, and planting bombs and poisoning a guy's drink at a point where it's that is the route where it's trial and error, but done really, really well. Especially with the limited save system, where you have to really think about, okay, how am I going to go about this? I need to memorize patterns. I need to figure out where to stash bodies. What kind of weapons can I carry? Can I kill this guy? Or will that create too much noise? And I also am obsessed with reading the newspapers at the end of the games, just because not only because like they tally up the like mass murderer like on the loose or strange like mystery assassin in the night, and show how many people were killed, how many shots were fired, from what gun it was, from what type of people that were around. Like, it was a civilian. It's like, these were armed guards. So we're not really looking into it that much. But like, I also love the little ads and like little news snippets like of random things going on, and I love the whole foreshadowing of the presidential debate and like and the whole ending storyline of the president kind of being involved, where they're talking, they're on debating, and then there's polls on newspapers, and I love even like the like kind of like chaos theory where it's building this big world, and you just feel like you're a part of it doing a specific mission, and just there's one headline that just sticks out to me where it was like I was reading up my post mission newspaper, like I did this, and then right below it said like old married couple sells Hitler memorabilia for millions. Like, what? It's like, who's the crazy guy who's like, what are we going to put for this newspaper? I know. Old married couple sells Hitler stuff. Okay, yeah, let's put that in there. And it just, there's so many options, and it just feels like such a lively world where these characters are just so well developed and so well created, and a lot of times you can skip right past them. Like there's the one scene of the Christmas party where you're trying to kill that senator's son and the other guy who's like in the smut film business, and you just go up to that one guy who's like chilling by a water fountain, and he's like, yeah, these women will do anything to get on a cover of a magazine, believe me. And then that's just it. It's like you don't hear from him ever again. It's like, okay, I guess you're just there, unless I missed something.
Yeah, it was I think it was the creepy photographer guy in that same mission. I think if you I don't know how you went about that mission, but there's if you get to take the elevator up to the top of like near the very top of the level. I think it's the second floor down from the top where like the helicopter is, or you can escape that way. That's where the older guy will be, where you can take him out. There'll be a photo shoot going on with different girls in the next room on the very left. I think that's the same guy that's over there taking pictures. So there's definitely a couple of ways to go about that mission. But there's definitely a lot of interesting and funny reads on those newspapers, and just seeing how so detailed it is on what you did is it's very cool to see how much of an impact they had and just how they word things in the article there. And depending on what you do, you can definitely. I know they have the whole notoriety system there. So if there's a witness that you didn't kill, he would describe the assassin like who that he saw in the newspaper. And if you don't let it, if you don't spend any of your money to remove that notoriety, it'll start building up. So you can get sooner rather than later. If you're really reckless, you can. They'll just pretty much have the picture of 47 on the newspaper. So when you just start the mission, people will start shooting at you because they'll recognize you.
And what's really surprising is that the first person shooting and the action play is not just in. With Metal Gear Solid franchise, I love it, but there are points in Metal Gear Solid 2 and Twin Snakes where I would have to actually participate in like a gunfight, and while the stealth elements were good, the action elements were just like okay, they were so. They worked for what they did, but there was no kind of joy out of it. Whereas in Blood Money, if you decide where if you do the Gorog walkthrough, it's basically just like okay, wow, I can like switch, like quickly turn into go from master assassin into gun wielding badass, and it feels just as comfortable as the sneaking around in stealth missions.
Yeah, I'd say that the shooting isn't the greatest, but compared to like Metal Gear Solid 2, I definitely would go with Blood Money on that, because it took me a long time to get used to the Metal Gear Solid 2 shooting controls when I first played it when I got the HD collection. So it's very tempting to go guns blazing, because you can get a lot of weapons, and then you can take them on missions. And there's definitely a couple of missions where you can definitely implement that, and to make the assassinations a bit more faster and easier to go through. I know there's the one I don't know how far you've gone, but there's one, the casino. That would be the case where I would use a sniper rifle there, and there's definitely a couple of ways to go about taking out those targets. Two with a sniper rifle, and one on the elevator.
Yeah, I mean, I also just love the freedom that you have. Just like, okay, whereas Splinter Cell, it's kind of understand where everything is, but you have to progress throughout the level. With Hitman Blood Money, at the very least, the level design is, okay, here's the level. Now go through and like memorize, not memorize in a negative connotation, but like figure out the patterns, understand where everything is, build up your arsenal well enough, like disguise yourself properly, take out the targets, and then escape without being seen. And I love that stealth mechanic.
And it's
so much.
Yeah, there's also random encounters with other NPCs that talk to you, and they can also provide you with some very good info, like where the targets is going to be. They can give you they can definitely give you more information that way, rather than just going in blind. And depending on how much you can also buy intel. You can buy intel as well to get a bit more information. And definitely depending on the difficulty level, there's definitely a limited amount of saves, and also I think it's when I played it on the hardest difficulty, there's like, if you look at the map, it's completely blank. It doesn't tell you anything.
I also really enjoy the actual structure of the story, where it's okay. You start off as this kind of interviewing process, and you learn more about not only 47, but also kind of the world around you, but like it gradually shifts from, okay, these going into flashbacks into actually 47's story becoming the main crux of the tail end of what's going on, in terms of kind of the agency being in trouble, and sort of 47's kind of on his own, and I think it's like just a really kind of interesting story structure they have there, even though there's no huge character arc or incredible plot line. It's like, wow, I do really like how well executed this is.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't get too in depth with like any characterization with 47 there. I think a lot of that. There was definitely a lot of that in Silent Assassin. That was where he had more of a motive other than just getting paid to go into missions and take out targets. So he had more of a motive to go through that, just kind of save his priest friend that he made. I think after the first game, where he was kind of questioning himself whether or not he wanted to be an assassin, and just going through the troubles of him just being genetically engineered to be just a killer machine. So he was kind of having his own struggles with that in those previous older games there. Mm-hmm. Blood Money is a bit more of a kind of I guess a story about revolving him, but it's also there's a grander scale going on around him as well. I love Blood Money a lot. So how far are you on? Did you already go to the? What'd you think of? I don't know how far you've gone, but have you already gone to the Mardi Gras mission?
Oh yeah, and I was actually surprised at how many NPCs they could spawn out there. I was like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah, just like running through them, and just the AI is a bit the AIs for the crowd are a bit weird, but yeah, it was. I mean, at the time when I played that was just amazing, just seeing all those people there. With the limitations of understanding the technology at the end, it was like, okay, the people walking down the street can only do two things, which are like pump their fists in the air or talk on their cell phone, and like those are the only two actions they could do. Like even when there's
I accidentally started a gunfight in the middle of it. Like when they were getting shot, they just kind of like ambled away slowly instead of like running away like people who were actually scared. And also there's something really weird about the walking animation for women. It looks like they just like have a broken leg, and then like they're just like limping along. It's like I don't think whoever animated this portion has never seen a woman walk. Where it's like, okay, we understand they have hips, but they don't need to be gyrating like 90 degrees every time they walk down the street.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, but for the animation works better at the Mardi Gras mission because everyone's getting drunk, so it makes sense they're walking a bit weird.
Yeah, the drunk Santa definitely that worked for him.
The drunk Santa, yeah.
Yeah, but
aphrodisiacs.
I have not. I'm sorry.
And aphrodisiacs.
Oh, I was just saying that I have not completed Blood Money yet. I am really, really invested in completing it just because I love just the pitch black humor, the tension. I love the world building of it all. Just like, okay, like these kind of secret societies or secret corporations going at each other's throats, and I'm not a big fan of characters who are just sort of archetypal and kind of blank face so that you can project your emotions onto them. But just the way that they handle 47, I was really surprised. I was like, wow, I'd never experienced this before. Like he's kind of devoid of emotion, but because of that, he's almost more of a character, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's why I dig him so much. He's such a interesting. He has an interesting character about him. Just that, and him being trained not to really have much of an emotion there. It was just I think that makes him a bit more of an interesting character, just because you never really know what exactly motivates him. I to this day I don't even think Wikipedia, people, the hardcore fans, really know what motivates him. I know that he kills for money, but he doesn't really do much with the money. He lives in you see where he lives, so I don't know what he finds pleasure in.
Maybe he's just like maybe he's just like has that that psychological disorder where he has to like keep stealing things. Where he's like, I need more stuff. Maybe Agent 47 is a hoarder. Maybe just like they open up one of those big storage bins, just has like all this money in it. He's like, I can stop anytime I want. I don't have a problem.
Money and guns is what he's hoarding there.
All the bodies in there, just from all the past games. Like, you should have cleaned this out about 2 years ago because this stank is nasty. That
reminds me of a picture I saw online. I think it might have been Reddit when I used to go on there a lot. They did the someone who had the PC version of Skyrim took a bunch of dead bodies and just put it in one of his houses that you get in Skyrim. So it's just like so just put in the caption like Skyrim hoarding of just dead bodies. It was really funny and yet really really disconcerting.
Oh yeah. there was a mod of somebody in Skyrim putting like decapitated heads on pikes inside their house, and it's like, welcome to my crib. These are all my skulls. Say hi. These are all the legs that I keep up here. You'll find they're all sorted by race and length. And it's like, and then like the first YouTube comment was like, "This is 100% no." This would be like the worst first date area for you to bring your date to. It's like, so I hear you're a teacher. Is that rewarding? Like while the decapitated heads of like all your enemies just looking over your shoulder. It's like, yeah. Are those heads? Don't worry about them. They don't bite. They can't. They're dead.
My God. Yeah, glad you enjoyed Blood Money there. A lot of things about it I quite enjoy. I do like the mission briefings you get before mission. Get a little backstory on some of these targets and how much scumbags they are, and taking some joy into taking them out, especially the opera mission. That's one of my favorites there.
Yeah.
With with the singer, and then I think it was like Michael Delahunt is the guy who's like, I guess friends with him. I think he runs like a sex slave operation, and it's like he's just there, all happy seeing the guy rehearse, and then you just if you set it up right, you can switch, you can take a replica gun and then replace it with the real World War II gun. And it's like a scene that they play where one of your targets gets shot in the play. So the guy, you replace the gun, and then the actor ends up shooting him, and then the guy up top, who's his friend, so it's all goes from happy into just the funny animation, like what, and then he starts running down the aisle from with his guards, and then you can put a bomb up on the chandelier and then drop it on his head right after he trips.
Oh. The ways people can die in these games are just too creative. I wonder how much time these guys spend. Like, well, you could poison him here and then stash his body in there and just wait for that guy to come around, or you could throw him over the side of the boat and let gators eat him. It's like, you mean for the game, right? Not for the game. Like, oh yeah, we totally meant for the game. Yeah. But also in real life, that would be a cool place to hide the body, right?
Yeah, that's one of the missions I did. I actually did one of the few LPs I did for Blood Money. I've been meaning to do one for quite a while, but I haven't had the kind of equipment to do so. That's when I played Blood Money online on the web browser. That's what the Square Enix was putting out. We could play Blood Money on the web browser. So it ran pretty well. So I was able to play that mission real quick, because there's like I believe like 5 to 10 minute intervals, so it'll give you an ad for like a minute and a half, and then you can play the rest of the game. You have to watch ads in order to get more playing time for that. That's how it works. But it's like real cheap now, so you can just buy the whole thing and just play it on the web browser for like $10, I think. So nice. I think each individual level is cost about I think $1 or $2. I don't recall, but it's. It ran well for me, so I think it's definitely worth playing the PC version of that, and it's always going on for cheap anyway, so it's it's worth playing that at least. So I got to play that and do an LP of that, so that was fun. Very, very fun indeed to do a Let's Play of that.
I have dragged out my video game console and my a TV out into the living room area for me and my roommate to enjoy with friends and company. So I haven't been able to finish off Let's Play, but as soon as it winds down a little bit, then I'd be happy to start on over again.
Very nice, very nice.
Finish up the DMC and Crimson Skies Let's Play.
Looking forward to it. So I guess to end on this note, what level are you on in Blood Money currently?
Yeah, yeah.
What level are you on in Blood Money at the moment?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought. I am on. Ooh, shoot. What is it? I ended on a cutscene. I ended on 47. He's just finally cut. He went to the Heaven and the Hell Club.
Oh, okay. That's where you take out the. That's where you have. Yeah, that one you had a lot of targets for on that one. I think it was that one in the casino that you had. I'm trying to remember. No, the Mississippi one, which is I do like that. I do like it, but I don't like it at the same time, because it's a big level, a really big one.
Oh,
but there's a lot of targets in that level. Like 7, I think.
You have the Gator Brothers or whatever they're called.
Yeah, it was them, and then the captain, I think.
Yeah. Oh man,
did you see the
that
guy?
One was a pain.
Yeah. Did you see the guy? He had like it was in the shower in his room.
Oh, don't even get me started on this.
Oh, did he catch you when you were trying to kill him? It was on the word, running to alert the guards. Like, hey, this bald man is killing my sugar daddy.
Oh, did this ever happen to you?
Probably did.
I walked out of I finally killed the captain, and then I walked down the hall, and I realized that I had my machine gun out, so I opened the door, and I opened the door to all of the party goers, and they just all stared at me and started screaming. I was like, oh, damn it.
Oh, yeah, you tend to forget that you have a weapon drawn up sometimes, so yeah, it's definitely happened to me before. That's... and it's definitely, it was one of those cases. It was one of those cases where I forgot to save, so I had to go do that over again. And
it's painful when it happens. Or it's like, oh yeah, I didn't save. I got to start the very beginning.
Bald man, there's a mysterious assassin on the loose, and out of nowhere, this bald man with a machine gun came out. It was like, hey, what's going on? Why you guys all in a jiffy here? What's going on?
Covered in blood, and he's just like, and bullet holes, and he's like, I can explain.
The game also adds a lot of a bit more of a challenge too, because you get penalized if you don't retrieve your. I mean, not penalized, but you lose a good $5,000. I don't know why you have to pay that much, but if you don't retrieve your suit, because you can get different disguises, but. On some missions I'll sometimes get it and sometimes I'll don't, because I just kind of in the hurry not to get caught, so I just kind of head out there before anyone notices the dead body that didn't hide. So I just kind of try to book it to the exit there before that happens, so it doesn't dock my score.
I guess it's like, listen, do you know how expensive the dry cleaning is for these suits? You better bring them back. You got brain matter all over the tie, man. Come on.
So yeah, I think you're pretty close to the finale there. I think you did the one, so that the one you're bringing, the Heaven Hell Club. So that's the one where you can mess with the pyro there. The burn that one girl who's messing with the pyro there, and then if you burn her, she'll just start running in the pool full of sharks that just eat her, and that's how you can kill her. I think that might have been the one.
I did not do that. I will make sure to do that next time. I did get into the gunfight with the guy wearing the Oni mask.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. It took me of a surprise when I played that the first time, because he wasn't in that loading screen. Because usually you get your targets as like picture in the loading screen, and it was like it was those two, and then some mysterious one, which just ended up being the woman that you kill in near the club there. The one that sings. That was singing that you get that back and forth with 47, and the bartender is like, what a terrible singer. He's like, 47's like, I didn't notice.
Wait a minute, she's singing Aqua's Barbie Girl. That can't be a real singer. Kill her.
And then it was that one, and then you get in the fight with I think it was some other rival assassin was looking to settle the score with 47 and who's the best assassin. So you just you go into this like soundproof room with like a bunch of weapons. I don't know what was his plan was how that would work for him, because there's so much weapons you could choose from. Just take them all and then have them stored in your hideout there.
You know what's really weird? If you want to be the best assassin, why would a gunfight solve that? Like, shouldn't it be like, if you're the best assassin, you should kill him when he's not looking?
Yeah, because I didn't see him coming, so he would just he could have just killed me right there when I was waiting for that one target there near the bar.
Like, listen, I don't think you understand what it means to be an assassin, so I think I'm going to win this one by default.
Yeah, I think you're pretty near the end there, my good man. I think you got the White House level there to go, and another level after that. So you're pretty near the end there, my good sir.
It looks like one of those games where the more you explore, the more you get out of the world and the story and the characters, and I'm just enthralled with everything so far, and I can't wait to finish up the Blood Money and finally get a good overview out.
Yeah, same here. Looking forward to discussing that. Other than that, I haven't been playing too much. I wrapped up. I think I already mentioned it, but I finished Catherine, and then just
nice.
Don't want to play that again for a while. I think I got my fill of very masochistic puzzles for a while there.
And I'm sure for you don't want your significant other seeing you playing it, or else they'll think, wait, this is what you think of our relationship? I gotta go. I'll see you later.
I gotta go sleep.
she won't make you run a maze. If she's angry at you and you go to sleep, she won't make you run a maze as a sheep. She'll just stab you in your sleep, and you won't even know what's happening.
I think I accept that better than what Vincent, the main character, was going through. Nightmare after nightmare and just doing puzzles. I think I'd rather just die in my sleep than having to do puzzles for every time I go to bed.
Wouldn't it be awesome if the twist of the entire story is it's not that he has some sort of existential crisis, worrying about these two women, or that it's some sort of demonic force that's giving him these nightmares where he has to survive. The real reason why he's having all these nightmares is he eats a bowl of cereal before bed, and that's the reason why he's getting all these nightmares. Just stop eating before you go to bed and you'll be fine, man.
Yeah, depending on how you go about interacting with those two girls there, and then other characters. The story could definitely take some interestingly weird turns from what I've seen in alternate endings and alternate scenes there. So, which is cool for replayability there. Other than that, I've been playing Far Cry 3. I'm enjoying Far Cry 3. I was kind of in the shooter mood there, but it's a lot of fun. I like because at first you start out with just the basic stuff, so you have to work your way up to unlocking the ability to, let's say, carry more than one gun. So I think you can carry a maximum of 4, but you have to go and explore the island and hunt a particular kind of animals in order to craft the ability to get another weapon slot, or just carry more ammo. Just a lot of things in works there that you have to go hunting animals in order to get done there. Increase your just a lot of things, increase your capability, running faster, or just carrying more weapons. A lot of things that work. It's sort of like an RPG, and I didn't realize how big the map was until I zoomed out. It's all right, I'm just climbing up these radio towers here, which are pretty fun little distractions. Very interesting way to go about kind of 3D platforming there. And once you get to the top, you unlock it. It's sort of like Assassin's Creed, where you open up. It'll open up the map there, and everything becomes more clear, so you know where everything is, like treasure chests or things like that. So you can kind of get an idea. It's all right, these animals are here that I wasn't able to see before, but now I can get a clear view on this surrounding area of the radio tower. So it's a lot like Eagle Vision in that way, and a lot of a lot of distractions. You can drive ATVs, cars, and the driving in the game is really good. It's not like a Grand Theft Auto type of driving, so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of the brakes are really good. So the turning is it's really well done. So it's it can also be a good driving game if you want to make it so running over dudes with guns and animals to get it's a lot easier to kill if you just run them over rather than just chasing them down and try to kill them with your machete or shoot them with the gun. So that's you get preserve your ammo, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it's like an open world. It's a bit. I know they probably use the term Skyrim with guns, but it's it's a little bit not as the map is not as huge as Skyrim, but it's still pretty large. I didn't realize until I zoomed out. I was all right, I got 3 radio towers, so this map doesn't look too big. And then I zoomed out. I was holy shit, this is a big island. There's still more to go.
It'd be great. Oh, okay, this little island, no worries. Go up to the comm tower and you get a larger perspective. It's the entire continent of Africa. It's no.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag of a lot of things. It's a first-person shooter. It's open world. It's a little bit of Red Dead in there. It's there's a lot of unexpected things that can happen. So there's a lot of animals out there, and a lot of animals out there in the wild that they can attack you when you least expect it. So I was like, shooting down a couple of dudes just trying to commandeer the certain area, so I can you can once you commandeer certain areas where there are a couple of soldiers there, it'll be like a safe point there that you can fast travel to in order to get around the map. And then I didn't out of nowhere, just a tiger came out and started mawing in my face.
I mean, Far Cry 3 definitely sounds like one of those games I should check out, because I love first-person games. I love open-world games. It sounds like a perfect combination. I've just never been... I don't know why. There was something about the series that I'm like, oh, okay, it's, whatever. But,
it's a lot of...
that and, was it Blood Dragon?
Blood Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, where it's basically it's like, okay, they put in Tron, 80s references, RoboCop, and everything, just wonderfully humorous about that sort of era together inside of Far Cry 3, and it's like, oh, okay, this is pretty awesome. But, Far Cry 3 itself, the game, looks pretty good, and how is Voss?
Voss is a very intense guy. I don't know the actor who plays him, but he does a really good job. I think it's very intimidating villain. In the beginning, you just you get that part where that's when you escape. So he's just kind of him being crazy, like you've seen him in the trailers. But I haven't played a lot. I haven't played a lot of the main missions to see if he's if he does more in the story, because I've just been doing a lot of the kind of side thing, I've been trying to just unlock more radio towers there and just activate them, just to get around the world. Just kind of having fun with the world and upgrading my skills and just trying to get everything good to go. So before I get into the main mission, just so I'm kind of more prepared, have more weapon slots and more ammo and just a lot of more skills to kind of better progress through the main stuff. And a lot of it is fun. It's not really forced upon you, but it's all completely optional to do those, and just you do them out of fun, really, not out of any kind of story. There isn't any really story attached to them. You just kind of hunt animals just to get your stuff going here, to get your bag that can carry a bunch of ingredients and stuff that you can loot off bodies that you can sell to get more weapons, and just a lot of things very RPG like, just to better progress and advance in the game there. So it's a lot of fun. When you activate the radio towers, you activate depending on each weapon. If the more you activate, some of the weapons that you can initially buy at first will become free. So you can all you need to do is just buy the attachments to them. And some of them have like one or two attachments you can use, like a better scope or like a suppressor. So get a bit more stealthy there, or just if you want, just go all guns blazing with like a rocket launchers and just a variety of weapons that you can go about mostly every mission, or just sticking around. There's shooting bow and arrows, and there's a lot of weapons you can use in that game. It's a lot of fun, but I mean, so far, I'm not. I mean, the story is okay enough. It's getting me through just exploring, but I don't know. It's kind of nuts. It doesn't make much sense, but I'm digging it so far.
Well, okay, answer me this question. Can you stab a shark in the face with a knife?
I can't. I think I might have seen. You can punch it, but I don't know if you can stab it. I haven't had much encounters with sharks other than just shooting them while I'm on a boat. It's just so I can get their skin there. It's just so I can upgrade some stuff, like to get more.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah. I was attacked by a shark while I was swimming out of nowhere, so I mashed the A button just to punch him in the nose, just to show him who's boss.
Okay, you sold me. You had me at shark punching in the nose.
Yeah, definitely. There's situations where there'll be animals locked in cages in some of these areas that you can overtake just to create save points where you can travel more faster around the map, where you can shoot the cage and then just have the animals start attacking your enemy. So it just makes it a bit more a bit more easier for you. Either from like tigers or just cheetahs that are locked in there for some reason. You just shoot their cages, and then like from afar, if you use a sniper rifle, it's a lot more fun to start sniping each guy from afar, and then just them wondering what
it's like, hey, it's finally all the payback for all the animals locked up in the zoo.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, this is like a darker. You don't know this, but the story is like this is a more serious and dramatic approach to Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. So you're really playing as Jim Carrey in this game.
How much would you pay for Jim Carrey DLC, where he just like voices all the lines?
I'd say a good $20 there. I think that's good enough. Throw grenades or just shoot rocket launchers and just him going, alrighty then.
Oh man, I'd bail on him for that, and you could get a Jeff Daniels sidekick as well, just in there.
Yeah, that's another bonus there. Who says DLC is bad? This can make games more fun to replay as just random characters from movies in the '90s. Why not? Yeah, I got a good deal on it. I think the deal, from what I saw online, I think it expires on the 25th, but I got it for a good $20 new at a GameStop. So compared to what it's going for in other locations, like the lowest that I've seen it so far is like around $40. So I think it's a pretty good bargain there if you go and pick it up for $20 new at GameStop.
Yeah, $20 for that game. It sounds fantastic, especially when it's been getting a Game of the Year accolades.
Yeah, that and Absolution I've seen it for $20, and Sleeping Dogs. So anyone out there who hasn't played them, get on that. It's really great price for great games. Because I know that I spend quite a few chunk of change for that collector's edition for Absolution. So it's nice to see it at least drop down in price. After months of the release there, so it's good. I think it definitely get more people playing it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, thank goodness for sales, and with Hitman Absolution and Far Cry 3 going down to $20 each, I am more than happy to spend some dollar on those.
Yeah, it's just not on. It's just not online. It's also at some retailers you can get it for that price. So that's good. That's really good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to getting that under the belt and in my game console.
Yes, so Far Cry 3 is very fun. Story may not make complete sense, but it's fun anyways. So I'll overlook it.
Definitely sounds like a good buy.
Yeah, that's what I've been playing there. I don't know if you want to add on to the conversation here, but I don't think we have any other any questions for this week. So other than that, I don't know what if you got anything else any final words there before I guess we can wrap up here for today.
Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. That's all I got.
That's good. That's certainly will stick with us for generations to come. Mm-hmm. Definitely words of wisdom there. So yeah, I guess it'll be better time than not to just wrap it up here and say our goodbyes. I will mention there that June 26th, it's still going on here. Be sure to keep tuned in to over at twitch.tv / Better Game Bureau, where I'll be taking on fellow BGB member Christian in a best of 5 in Mortal Kombat. So tune into that. This will be one for the ages. We've been hyping this up for almost a month here. Him and I going back and forth on Twitter and through their respective streams. Been hyping
sending
this
each
up.
other bomb threats.
It's almost
pulling out knives in public.
It's almost got it's almost escalated as that. I mean, I don't know if we've got any stipulations going on. I don't know if there's any prizes on the line, but you never know. I mean, I could say that. I could say that maybe Chobot might be in my corner. Who knows?
Hey, but let me tell you something here, Splinter. no matter what, I will always bet money on you. You are the guy. I have your back 100% of the way. By the way, I want to bet about $20 on Christian. So where do I turn this money into?
Well, we gotta go. Maybe a Kickstarter. I don't know. That's the way of the
Kickstarter.
future. It's the way of the future. That's how we got Barkley too. So I think that'd be a better place than any to do that. What we can spend it on, I do not know.
Why spend money on research for cancer when you can watch Mortal Kombat?
I wouldn't want to bet. I wouldn't want to spend it anywhere near Bricktop from Snatch. So that's all I will say. So yes, it's going down on June 26th. That's a Wednesday for you folks at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. So hopefully the time does not change. So I'll say it in true pay-per-view fashion. The title card is subject to change. You never know. This will make it more entertaining here, but it is free to view, I say. So just I'll provide the link below. So if you want anyone from who listens to this very podcast can tune in and say hi and watch a good couple rounds of Mortal Kombat, and also that will be the pre-show to what is a 3-year-long rivalry between Anthony and his other opponent over at only on the BGB.com. My good people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to tune in and give you my support 110%, and I'll expect all of you listening out there to do the same. So June 26th, 9 a.m. p.m.
9:30 Pacific. That'd be too early, man. Too early for a fight. That's prime time. Prime time we're doing this, man. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time for all you people up in the West Coast. Represent.
Nice. So check us out there. We're also on iTunes under Blade Thumbs Podcast and the Spill.com group page of Blade Thumbs. So send in those questions. We always love getting questions and comments and feedback, and we love all of our people who do that. So thank you.
Yeah, as well as the Blade Thumbs, the WordPress.com. That's definitely a very source there that the iTunes goes off of. So whenever I post this episode, that'll be the first thing it goes up to. So if you want to do any subscriptions to the RSS feed, I never got into big with the RSS feed. I don't really follow any of the RSS feeds. I just kind of go directly to the respective sites of whatever podcast I listen to or iTunes to do it that way. Also on Android there too. So if you can go,
hello,
I believe it's Pod Beyond or something. Is an app that they take the links from the iTunes there, and then you can search your particular podcast there from iTunes right on your Android device. So that's pretty good. Which we are on as well.
Good. We are just everywhere.
That's our usual links there, and on Twitter as well. So give us a follow.
Splinter 47.
Yes, and ch_Gorog there.
Yeah.
You mentioned, what was it, last week where you were tweeting what was it, who was it from formerly of G4 fame back in the early days?
Oh,
right?
Laura
Foy, yeah.
Yeah, we got into a hot and heavy conversation, just shooting back and forth. Needless to say, I completely blew it, and she never wants to see me again. Good for that. But nah, it was funny just because her Twitter account got hacked by a porn website. And it was just funny. It made some kind of joke about Popeye, and I think it was like Popeye dipped this in olive oil, and that was like a URL to the website. And so she's like, "I am so sorry, guys. Like that was just somebody hacked my account and sent out a Popeye joke." And I said, "Yeah, it was probably that damn Bluto." She goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" The Bluto from Popeye, he's the bad guy. Sorry, bad joke on my end, and I haven't heard back from her since. So there's my 15 minutes of fame all used up.
Ah, man.
We have the Gorog chalkboard over here with how many times I've struck out with a woman. Let's see, let's add another one. We have 38. Alright, and wins 2. Survey. And mostly I just cried, and they felt sorry for me.
The survey says... Very, very good. Very good. Yeah, we got... that's what's cool about Twitter. You might get tweeted by someone you follow there. That is very nice. Very nice indeed.
Yep.
So yes, to you and all, thank you all for listening for episode 138 of Blade Thumbs podcast. There, I'm not gonna, I won't tease it, but eventually we will get Mr. Caffeine on the podcast. I think he's a respected fella there. I think we gotta,
Dude.
definitely discuss many things to come from Ubisoft. Maybe he'll give us a scoop on what's going on with Ubisoft there. You never know. He might predict the future for all we know. He might be the next Michael Proctor. Who knows?
But yeah, all you gotta do is wait and see. And and also check out the Mortal Kombat tournament on June 26th. Mark your calendars, people.
Good plug there. Yes. Thank you all for listening. I'm Splinter47 here, signing off. You have yourself a wonderful week. Yes.
And I am CH Gorog. We loved having you all, and we hope to talk to you more about video game goodness and whatever comes to our mind in the future. So thank you very much, and so long.